How's it going?
It's going amazing. Hello and welcome to our channel. I'm Mike.
And I'm Liz. And today is our 4th episode in our Disney World vlog series.
If you've missed part of the series, you can check out the entire playlist in the card above Liz's head.
Ding! Today we are taking you on a journey through Disney's Animal Kingdom.
First, we'll give you our experiences and impressions, and then we'll provide you with our 12 tips to help you plan your day.
Including how to ride Flight of Passage without a FastPass.
So park opening at Animal Kingdom is at 9 a.m. However, on days with extra magic hours, it opens up at 8 a.m. But something many people don't realize is that once significant crowds form at the front gate, cast members allow guests to enter the park even earlier, and they conduct what is termed a rope drop, where using a rope, they walk the guest to a premier attraction and allow them to ride the ride super early with minimal lines.
We really wanted to do this so we could ride Flight of Passage without having to wait in line about 2 or 3 hours, which is the normal wait time.
All right, so we have made it to Animal Kingdom. It is currently 7:03. Not too bad. We're going to try and get through security pretty fast. Park doesn't open until 8 for extra magic hours, but they'll actually let you through to the park. We can start queuing up for Flight of Passage, which is pretty much the only way we're going to get to ride the ride. So we'll let you know how it goes. So we took a lift to the park, arrived at about 7:03 in the morning, took some initial photographs, and then we got in line by 7:10, and this is what the crowd looked like. Alright, so we are in line. Line's not too bad so far. We're just waiting outside the gate, and we're excited about heading over to Pandora.
But only 10 minutes later, the line looked like this.
Keep your whole party together on the same line. Same party, same line.
The madness of rope.
You're going to have to help me. I don't know where to go.
Oh, just follow the crowd. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Everybody's here for the same reason.
Skinny. With the building.
So what were your first impressions of the park?
I loved Pandora. Pandora was so creative. It was beautiful. It felt like we were in like this real world. It was just stunning.
Yeah, and I loved how they mixed the artificial plant life with the natural stuff. In some cases, it was fairly seamless. You're like, is this a weird plant that exists on Earth, or is this something that they fabricated? Yeah. So that was actually very, very cool to see. Definitely one of my favorite parts of the park, but the entire park as a whole was gorgeous. It was so nice.
It was so relaxing.
Yeah, it was so much more laid back than the other parts, I would say.
Hello. Hi, good morning. Lane number 3 for me. Attention visitors. You are about to fly on a Banshee high above Pandora. You will be restrained in a moving chair and will experience sudden drops and acrobatic aerial maneuvers. Those with a fear of heights or are prone to motion sickness should bypass this experience. Thank you.
And my next group, just stay right here for me, okay?
Banshee high above Pandora. Sudden drops and acrobatic aerial maneuvers. Systems ready.
Okay, Dr. Stevens, they're ready.
Can everyone see me? Great. Welcome to the Avatar program. Soon, you're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Navi rite of passage, flying on the back of this powerful animal called an Ikron, or as we call it, a Banshee.
Attention drivers, stow your gear on the back wall and then get onto the link chair the way we showed you in the video.
So, what the heck? That was an amazing ride.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
That was an unbelievable ride, and that was
actually flying.
totally worth
Yeah.
waking up for.
Yeah, so we're glad that we didn't have to wait 3 hours in line for that, but I can see why people would, honestly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a Navi River Journey.
Okay.
Park just opened for magic
Oh, okay.
hours. Just now.
Here we go.
Do we want to go this way? Did we get a green light?
Flight of passage now.
If I had to guess,
Yeah.
I don't know, probably about an hour.
From Flight of Passage, we made our way to Navi River Journey.
So it's a slow boat ride, a dark ride, and it takes you through this sort of nighttime Pandora.
Yeah, it's got a lot of bioluminescent features on it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
The music was really neat.
Yeah, and they had some kind of cool animatronics. One of which was extremely advanced. The sort of shaman lady.
Yeah.
That was very, very cool.
We actually rode Navi River Journey twice.
Yeah, we had a FastPass. So we weren't able to get a FastPass for Flight of Passage, but we were for Navi River Journey later on in the day. Since we were able to do the whole rope drop thing, we just went on to Navi River Journey, rode it, and then it was nice to have a time whenever, I didn't have to film anything going the second round.
Oh, you could enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I could just kind of enjoy the ride more. So it's definitely a nice place to sit down in sort of a cool environment, temperature controlled, and just sort of enjoy yourself.
Alright, so that's the end of the line at Flight of Passage. They're posting a 105-minute wait time. Beautiful Tree of Life. It's amazing. It's so huge, too.
Then we headed on to Dinoland, U.S.A. so that we could ride the ride Dinosaur.
The queue line was actually really cool for Dinosaur.
Yeah.
I felt like Mike was especially in his element because he loves dinosaurs.
Can I
so much.
say I'm a dino nerd? Yeah. They had lots of different fossils and even some various mounted skeletons. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
As for the ride itself, we both
was
enjoyed it. It was a little rough. But yeah, especially since we had just come off Flight of Passage and Navi River Journey.
Our expectations were...
Yeah, our expectations were like super high, and then the ride was fun, but I just found myself thinking there's so much more that they could do with this ride, with our current technology. Yeah, so I think they could improve the story. They could definitely improve the sort of the technological aspect of it. Yeah, and so they could make a really sweet dinosaur ride at this point. Yeah. It was just kind of good. Yeah, it was fun. Worth going on. I would recommend that you do it. And
it was kind of funny too. Right before we got on, actually one of the cars had broken down, and we had to wait for them to take it off the tracks, and so that was kind of a minor inconvenience, but it was still kind of interesting.
Yeah. They did it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Another fun fact about Dinosaur: the previous iteration of the ride was sponsored by McDonald's, and so if you look at the tubing at the very end of the queue line before you get on the cars, it has sort of the molecular composition of mustard, ketchup, and mayonnaise. So that's what that is. I thought that was kind of a fun little thing.
Little fun fact.
Alright, so I have a story time again. So this is the second time on this trip that somebody's come running out of the wrong restroom and into the right restroom. So the guy. That's two.
From there, we made our way to Asia on our way to Expedition Everest.
I thought the queue line in Expedition Everest was phenomenal. The theming, just the attention to detail, blew my mind. It was so cool. It was so intense in its realism that I was very, very impressed.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool too because not until later on into the queue line, but it wasn't crowded, and so we were able to like kind of take our time and look through it.
So what were your thoughts on the ride itself?
It was so fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, I like roller coasters anyway. But.
Yeah, and it was cool because it's themed the whole way through, but it's a little more interesting, I thought, than just a ride that takes you through forward in a very predictable way. So it was cool with its sight lines and with it sort of switching directions and things like that. I thought it was pretty cool.
I can definitely see it being creepier if you ride it at night, though.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah.
From Asia, we entered Africa, and that was another area that had some really cool theming. Very intensely themed.
It's so beautiful. All the different colors and designs on the buildings.
Yeah. And one of the things that I noticed, even in the more common areas, so you expect to see some crazy plants in Pandora, but they had it even in Africa and in Asia and things like that. And so I just loved even the natural plants that they brought in.
It was so relaxing.
Yeah, it was nice after our really intense travel Epcot day, the previous day, to just kind of chill, really, compared to the other days that we did. So we left Africa and entered the Valley of Moara, which is in Pandora, on our way to Satu'li Canteen. So we got these different grilled meat bowls, and they give you a choice of protein, choice of base, and choice of sauce.
It was so good.
So we left Pandora and headed into a shop that's called Island Mercantile, and they had some pretty cool stuff in there. I liked the theming as well. Nice place to stop into.
We decided we really, really needed coffee at this point. Thankfully, there was a place called Creature Comforts.
Yeah, and that's the Animal Kingdom Starbucks location. And
I was so thirsty.
Oh, it was just what the doctor ordered.
And the prices weren't bad, honestly. It was just, I'd say, a little higher than what your normal Starbucks.
A little bit higher, but it wasn't bad. I've been to theme parks where they charge you double. Not necessarily Starbucks, but some other places that charge you double what the normal prices are. And they upcharged maybe like $1 or something.
Yeah.
It really wasn't bad, and it was so needed at that point.
Yeah, and outside of Creature Comforts, they actually had a place you could sit down, and there was beautiful music playing, and you were just enveloped by trees and greenery.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's probably one of the most relaxing parts of our day, because we really just chilled and sat there for a while.
Yeah. So then we took the Wildlife Express, which is a train that they have, and headed off to Rafiki's Planet Watch. They have Out of the Wilds Conservation Station, just structures where they will have different events and things like that. But they also had their petting zoo, which they called the Affection Section.
Aww! The Affection Section! Oh, babe.
It's okay. It also gave us the chance to see some of the back of the house structures at the park.
On our way back from the train, we made our way to
the Maharajah Jungle Trek.
I didn't think I could say it. The Jungle Trek was so beautiful. All the details on the buildings, all the painting, just everything.
We got to see a tiger and some other animals too.
They also give you, I think it's a laminated paper and it gives you all the animals that are in the area, and it gives you information on them as you're walking through. I thought that was really helpful. Kind of unusual. So
yeah, it's kind of cool because it frees them up from having to make signs everywhere. You know, you just sort of have your identification page with you, and you can
do what you will with it. Then we headed back to Africa and went on the Kilimanjaro Safaris.
And that was a lot of fun. It was cool. There were lots of animals that were out when we went. It was about 3 p.m. and
weather was perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't too hot. If it gets really hot, you'll definitely want to go either early in the day or later.
But it is covered. You're in a covered vehicle, and it was actually really neat. And in the vehicle on the top, when you look up, there's this chart, and it has all the different animals that you see listed. And I thought that was really neat. They're all illustrated.
Right, and of course they do the sort of the overhead narration of what the animals are and what they're doing, and some fun facts about them.
It's a little bit of a bumpy ride if you have small kids.
Right,
but I think they would still enjoy it.
It was cool too because the way that they designed the sight lines and everything, you couldn't really tell for the most part where the enclosures began and ended.
Yeah,
and so it was very well thought out and a really neat little ride. After we got off of Kilimanjaro Safaris, we entered the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, and that was pretty cool. They had
there was a baby.
There was a baby gorilla.
Oh,
it was adorable.
Yeah.
Your mom's not gonna like it.
No.
She doesn't like gorillas.
She doesn't like monkeys. From there, we went back to Discovery Island to go see It's Tough to Be a Bug. It was really cool because on the way, we actually went under the tree, and there are all these carvings of different animals into the Tree of Life, which is very, very creative and cool. Yeah.
Which they're also able to incorporate later on in their light show, sort of highlighting different animals that make up the trunk of the tree. So it was very cool.
Yeah. So the It's Tough to Be a Bug is kind of like a 3D visual experience, and you wear glasses, and it was really neat. Yeah. It wasn't perfect, but there were definitely moments of the show where it felt like things were coming at you, and they added unusual elements. I don't want to spoil it for you. They added unusual elements. They were unexpected.
Yeah, it was kind of cool too because they mixed some animatronics with the 3D digital elements. So
yeah, that was fun.
It was fun. It was a neat experience. From there, we went over to Yak and Yeti so we could grab some dinner, and it was very cool. Kind of a mixed Asian theme inside. Yeah. Very, very nice.
Very elaborate.
Yeah. Even though it's a restaurant from the Landry's group, I liked it a lot better than the other offerings that I've seen from them.
They seated us upstairs, and the lighting was perfect. It was just so beautiful up there. It wasn't super crowded, so we were seated alone in a 2-seater. And
yeah. So we ordered the firecracker shrimp as our appetizer, and that was really good. A nice creamy sauce. It was a little spicy, but it wasn't overwhelming.
Can I have that right now?
I would like some right now.
Yes. I ordered the chicken lo mein. It was delicious.
And I had the chicken tiki masala, and it was really, really good. They give you a nice scoop of rice right in the center of the dish.
Yeah, a lot of food.
Yeah, we had plenty of food.
After dinner, we just kind of walked around and enjoyed the park a bit. And then we noticed there was some event going on the water, which happened to be Rivers of Light.
Yeah.
We actually didn't have any idea what that was. It just so happened there was a showing that night. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I want to see what this is. So we, made our way around the park some more and found some seats. Took a little while to realize that we were able to do that. And then we sat down and just waited for the show to start. And it was so beautiful. Just a really cool experience. We don't have footage of the show just because that's what they asked for. But it was, I'm glad we didn't miss it. It was just such a really, really neat show.
After we finished up the Rivers of Light show, we headed over to the Tree of Life because they were doing a secondary show, which is called Tree of Life Awakenings. And so they did all sorts of different projections and things onto the tree itself, emphasized different elements of it, the different animal sculptures.
Again, we were asked not to record it, so...
Right, so we can just kind of show you a photo real quick. And something that we noticed is that they don't just do one show and that's it. They kept doing the same show over and over.
Yeah, so if you missed it or you were on a ride or something, you could still come back and watch it.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was neat they did that.
From there, we went back to Pandora because it is totally worth it to go over there at night because everything is glowing. They actually use a special paint on the ground which makes it glow. So if you have anything, if you're wearing anything that's light colored, it's gonna show up. It's really, really cool experience.
Because they have these different black light stations, which are set up in different areas, and also, of course, a lot of the fabricated Pandora plants that they have in there light up at night. They glow and that sort of
so
thing.
if you felt like you were in an area that had kind of like the Navi River.
Yeah, it was kind of like
it's like everything's glowing,
all around you,
bioluminescent environment.
Yeah. So it's definitely worth seeing at night. So that finished out our night, and we got on a bus and headed back to Pop Century. So first, a quick disclaimer. Obviously, a lot of our tips are only going to be relevant once the parks resume normal operating procedures. So with that, let's jump in.
Tip number 1, arrive 45 minutes to an hour before the park opens.
Tip number 2, parks are busier on extra magic hour days. So if you're not going to utilize the extra magic hour, then we suggest that you go to another park on that day. Preferably a park that had extra magic hours the previous day.
Tip number 3, to get a really early start, we actually recommend you take a different transportation other than the Disney bus lines. You could either take a minivan if you have a large group, or in our case, we took a Lyft, or you could do that or an Uber, and it was only $8.59, so it really wasn't bad, and it was a quick experience.
Number 4, the most popular rides at Animal Kingdom include Flight of Passage, Navi River Journey, Expedition Everest, Kilimanjaro Safaris, and Dinosaur. These are the rides that are worth applying your FastPasses to.
Number 5, this goes for all parks, but we actually recommend that you use your FastPasses as soon as possible, so you can get additional FastPasses throughout the day.
So number 6, if you rope drop Flight of Passage, be sure to ride Navi River Journey immediately afterwards, and then continue to ride as many hot ticket attractions as you can early in the day.
Number 7, at Animal Kingdom, you don't have to take the table service route to have a really good meal. Their counter service restaurants, especially Satu'li Canteen and Flame Tree Barbecue, are solid choices.
It smells amazing. Got the smoke coming out.
Number 8, on hot days, the best times to ride Kilimanjaro Safaris are usually early in the day or around sunset. We did it mid-afternoon and saw lots of animals, but it was also early February.
Number 9, make sure you stick around for Pandora at night. It's a really, really fun, cool experience. We highly recommend it.
Number 10, and if you do stick around for Pandora at night, be sure to wear glowing or reflective elements for an extra bit of fun.
Number 11, keep in mind that the Rivers of Light show only happens on certain nights, Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Number 12, remember to leave time in your day to sit down and enjoy the natural and artistic beauty of the park.
Now that we've discussed our experiences in Animal Kingdom, let us know what aspect of the park you're most interested in.
Or if you've been before, which part of the park is your favorite?
Tell us in the comments below.
Our next episode of the series will cover Hollywood Studios.
So look for that in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching.
Bye! You know, we gotta be happy for what we can. Okay.
We can have?
Yes. What we have.
Thank you. And then we pushed each other like football players through the crowd. Expedition's a stupid word.
It wasn't really a jungle ride, so that's why I changed that.
Ride there. We rolled past this awesome tree of life. We just rolled by it.
Rolled right on by.